Okay guys, today we're going to be doing some round the house modifications on Jade Shadow over here. So I always spend money on parts. I know that that's not necessarily something that can be done all the time, and you know, there's times where I have a limited budget. So today I wanted to do some really cool things that I can actually do without spending a bunch of money. Creating my own modifications in this case to enhance the look of the bike. So come along, let's take a look at what we're going to be doing, and give me your opinion when we're done. Okay, so I'm going to try a technique that I've been thinking about for a while, but I've just been too afraid to try. We're going to start with the least expensive part, which is, what is that thing called? The timing cover. It is a WillieG skull timing cover. Not super expensive, so it's good to experiment on. And we're going to use this high gloss model paint to fill in the low-lying areas. Of course, there's going to be some of it that gets up outside of where I want the paint to stay. So after thinking about it, what I decided to do is get these cotton swabs and soak them in the paint remover, or paint thinner, that I use to clean the brushes. And then just go across the top, stroking it so that it only clears off the high or the raised areas, leaving the red paint down in the valleys. I think when you see the final product that it turned out pretty good. It was very nerve-wracking, just because I did not want to mess up a part of the bike. The idea for this started because I want to take the badges off the tank and paint those black and red in concordance, I guess, with the CVO black and red emblems. But I really love the Road King Special tank emblems. I didn't want to change the actual emblem, just the color of it, and tried to figure out how am I going to get that done and not make it look half-assed. So looking at the bike, there's a couple other spots that I want to try this on. This little derby cover, I think if I remember correctly, it's like only $35. Whereas each of the tank badges, if I mess those up, not only are they difficult to get off and put back on exactly the same way, but they also are $78 a piece. So from a standpoint of what is the most cost-effective way to try this idea out, it looked like this medallion will be the best way. Now, I did test the paints a little bit on the inside of the medallion because that is basically just a useless part, the back side of it. It doesn't have any fluids hit it or anything else. So I tested what the paint would look like painting the model paint onto that black surface on the inside. And I even let my daughter paint some of it and sign it. So some of her artwork is on the inside of the bike and will be there as long as I keep this piece on, which is a great motivator. I want you guys to tell me what you think when we get to the end, and should I attempt this with the tank badges? If it turns out good, it could look really, really good. If it turns out bad, it could also look really, really bad, and then I have to replace those expensive tank emblems. This is, I think, a good way to add a personal touch to the customization of your bike. Keeping quality parts, but throwing that DIY aspect into it and having something unique that you actually had a hand in creating. So there it goes. You'll get a bigger view of it in just a short while. I'm gonna let this dry overnight and come back in the morning. I'll see you guys in just a few moments. Okay. Next morning, Batman cat shirt on. I opened something I ordered. These are strips to go over the blinkers or the reflectors that are in the saddlebags. Now, I think that is one of the most useless parts of the bike is the blinkers that go on the front forks. I'm sorry, not blinkers. The reflectors that go on the front forks and on the saddlebags. First of all, they're super small. Secondly, if you can't see the blaring LED lights on the bike, these little micro strips aren't going to do squat. So let's use them as a decorative piece. The first thing I did was try to create a custom vinyl sticker using, or actually getting my wife to help me and use her Cricut machine, and just couldn't get it to look right. I found these stickers on eBay, and the company that does it has thousands of different types. I'll put the link in the comments below. But they're super high quality, and they're thick, padded vinyl stickers. You'll see here on the back, I'm adding 3M double-sided tape, which is what is used originally to hold all these on. They're weatherproof, they're heavy duty. I'll put a link for that tape as well. And then I just trim it a bit to fit the shape of the actual, what is that thing called? Reflector. I think when we put it on the bike, it turns out good. Now I started to think, and I have these normal screws that screw this thing in, and they're metal looking and doesn't fit the theme of the bike at all. So I wanted to paint them. The best way that I found to do it is to put them in this piece of cardboard so I can paint just the heads. I don't want the paint to get down into the threads of the screws themselves. So we're going to paint it. You have to be careful in that you don't want the paint to get too thick down in the hole that your tool's going to go. That went so well, I decided to do the derby cover. Now, I know that the FXDR has this derby cover already with the red 114 on it. It also has a red ring around the outside. But again, I wanted something that I created, or at least had a hand in creating, and was a unique look that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I pulled that guy off and started doing this here myself. Same technique. When the paint got up into an area I didn't want it, just grab that cotton swab and wipe it down. Of course, the cotton swab soaked in that paint thinner. And again, the finished product, when you see it, I think looks very well. I think it looks really, really good on the bike. By the way, if you stay till the end, I have a surprise part. Yeah, I went ahead and bought a part. I know, shoot me here. I did buy a part, and we're going to give it a little bit of the same treatment and put it on the bike at the very end of this video. Let me know what you think. It's that fine line between having something cool and unique and something that is too gaudy, too garish, that stands out too much and doesn't fit the overall look of the bike. So, I don't know. Tell me what you think. I can't wait for you to see that part. Going back here, this was a lot easier to do than the timing cover. The channels that are cut into it, that are machined into it, are substantially larger than on that tiny little timing cover. So this was took me a lot less time, believe it or not, even though it is much larger, and I was able to get a very good final product on it. That's coming up here. You're going to see that I'm also going to do the bolts exactly the same way that I did the bolts for the timing cover. Again, be careful not to get anything down into the head of the bolt that is going to block or restrict the tools that go in it. If you do leave tool marks, it's easy to go back with a very thin paintbrush and do some touch-ups with that black model paint. I chose the model paint because it is an enamel, and should hold up, especially on these parts that don't experience a lot of direct heat on them. It should hold up pretty well. Time will tell, and I'll keep you updated. Give this video a few minutes so you can see how it progresses, and then I will be back with some more commentary. Not yet, because it's raised up. Hello, Saoirse.
Hello.
You helping me on the bike?
Yes.
Okay, let's start by getting this timing cover onto the bike. We're going to just be real gentle here, hold it in, and we're dry fitting everything right now. You're going to want to go back and torque these to exactly the right amount and put some thread locker on the bolts once that, or before you put those in. I just want to see what it's going to look like. Keep in mind here, these are in inch, what is it? Inch feet, or inch pounds. These are in inch pounds, or whatever. I mean, it's measured in inches. Yeah, inch pounds. And then on the other side, on the Derby, it's foot pounds. Back in the day, on a previous bike, I didn't think that there was a difference, and I destroyed the bolts. So lesson learned on that prior bike. Here, we're putting in, I pulled that double-sided backing off and put this into the two saddlebags. I can tell you that this product I am super happy with. Very, very, very nice. It is bright enough that it would be, in my opinion, just as noticeable as a reflector. Now we're going to uncover that derby cover area. Always put a cover on it if you don't have the actual plate, because you don't want debris down in there. And we're going to go through and we're going to do like putting a tire on a car. You do the hex or the X pattern. Let's just get these snug, and then we'll go through and tighten them. Doing the screw that's across the plate, and just keep doing what, in this case, because there's 5, becomes a pentagram symbol in tightening, so it's evenly tight all the way around. Again, just remember, don't just do what I'm doing here. This is for show. Go back and make sure you got Loctite on them, and you tighten them down to the exact foot-pounds in this case that these call for, so that you don't develop any leaks as the pressure builds up while it's riding. I would say that I would rate the outcome of these on a scale of 1 to 10. I personally feel they're about a 9. I was worried I was going to get a 2, so I am very, very happy. Is there room for improvement? There is always room for improvement. Probably the biggest challenge I had in doing this type of mod, see, there's the final product. Here's a shot as we pull back. But my biggest challenge is that 1, I'm old, 2, my eyes are failing, and 3, my hands aren't as steady as they used to be when I was younger. What do you think of those? I am very happy with them. Give me your thoughts below. Coming up here, let's take a look at this mystery part. There you go. I'm going to give you a few seconds to try to figure out where this ends up on the bike, but I'm very happy. Again, this product, the link will be down in the description. It only ran $50. It is very nice. It's plastic. I was hoping it would be metal, but it's plastic. It's from Kuryakin. I hope I said that right. The quality of it is very high. So what is it? This is a horn cover to go on over the horn and give it that extra little touch to reflect the other skulls that are on the bike. Of course, the name of the bike is Jade Shadow. At one point, I'm planning to do some custom graphics of a female skull with hair flowing back like it's wind blowing, in black on the green paint. We'll see how that develops. But in the meantime, we're going to put this onto the horn cover. And I'm just giving it some red highlights to go with the other red highlights on the bike. Up there is a crack in the skull, and I'm going to paint that as well red in a few minutes. You'll see my daughter over there very excitedly helping me. She really enjoys both unicorns and working on the motorcycle with her dad. Those are her 2 favorite things in the whole world. Now, when I was looking at this skull, excuse me, I was also considering another skull, which I will be inserting right here. The reason I did not stay with that skull is, even though the production on it, the quality of it looked fabulous, and everybody that had gotten it reviewed it as incredible, and it's made by this one guy here in the States that's custom made to order, and it looks amazing, and would still stay with the overall concept of the bike. I think that it is probably just too far out there for what I want. This is a good compromise. Plus, it is about 1/3 of the cost. When we're doing a budget video, it'd be ridiculous to go and spend a lot of money on a part, right? That being said, this is a much more subdued skull, even with the red on it, and I think it is more of the level of what I'm looking for, flair, that will complement the other pieces of flair on the bike. I love that word flair. If y'all haven't seen the movie Office Space, please go see it. It is a life-changing movie. It's blah. I'm having a tongue-tied moment. That is a movie called Office Space. Okay. In a few moments here, we're going to, yep, there we go. We are doing the crack in the skull. Again, I'm very happy with how this piece turned out. Let's finish this painting here real quick, and then I'll show you what it looks like on the bike. Okay guys, here's what it looks like on the bike. I think it brings out the little red highlights that I'm putting in the bike extremely well. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm excited to hear.